Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. The political debate of what is really going on in Zimbabwe continues. I believe Zanu PF and Chamisa and his Triple C or whatever his new movement is going to be called are like cats. Growling, and the politically naive assume that they are fighting. And Chamisa is portraying himself as a tough cookie who has been knocked down again and again, and then again and again, he gets up. The truth in reality is that these are alley cats. They are not fighting at all. They are making love. And some people cannot grasp that political reality. Even when you show them the kittens, they still refuse to accept it. This is Chamisa's latest posting on his Chamisa News channel. And I think we should go through it, well, as much of it as possible. He says, rethink your priorities. So much money has been invested, wasted, and pumped into destroying one individual, this NC, Nelson Chamisa. But then it didn't work. It's not working, and it will never work. They put so much money and cars and much more into destroying yours truly, a fellow citizen who is merely trying to make positive contributions and difference. More money has been allocated to destroying than to building, and goes on and on like that. His track record does not show it. People must remember that MDC Triple C were formed. When they were formed, their number one task was to implement the democratic reforms. That was the number one task. And they were formed 25 years ago, 1999. You've got to ask yourself, what reforms have they implemented? Mnangagwa was able to blatantly rig the 2023 elections, precisely because not even one token reform was implemented. Not even one token reform was implemented. What is more, he was able to get away with it because Chamisa and company participated in those flawed elections, knowing fully well that the process is flawed, knowing fully well that by participating, they will only give Zanu PF legitimacy. And yet, they insisted in participating. Here is a quotation, photo in David Coulthard's book. In that quotation, as you can see, Coulthard explains why he and his fellow MDC friends have been participating in elections which they could see were so flawed, so illegal, that the only logical way was to withdraw. They could not withdraw. Why? Because, as he states there, the worst aspect for me about the failure to agree a coalition was that both MDCs could not do the obvious, withdraw from the elections. In other words, they've been participating in these flawed elections out of greed. Ever since the GNU debacle, the MDC CCC leaders have been participating in flawed elections, knowing fully well that the process is flawed, knowing fully well that Zanu PF would win, knowing fully well that by participating you give Zanu PF legitimacy out of greed. How anyone can keep refusing to see that fact beggars belief. And yet many people doubt that. And this is the heart of the argument here. Chamisa is trying to portray himself as the gallant fighter fighting in the people's corner, when in reality, MDC CCC leaders have been nothing but Zanu PF Team B, playing for Team A to win and for Team A to have legitimacy. Those are the kittens. Forget about all the growling and you assume that the parties are fighting. They are not. MDC CCC will never implement any reforms to stop Zanu PF rigging the elections. This is now a causal relationship that is working very well, thank you, for the two of them. Zanu PF gets to rig the elections and stay in power. And Chamisa and company, for their part, they get rewarded the few gravy train seats, and they are content with that. And meanwhile, it's the ordinary Zimbabweans who are paying dearly for this failed political system. I say it again. Chamisa lied about plugging the vote rigging loopholes. He even invoked the name of God to con people to participate in flawed elections, knowing fully well that his party was not going to win. Here he is announcing to the nation just before the voting in 2023 started.
Makorokoto Zimbabwe nokuti hakuna munhu anomira kana denga raronga plan. Denga raronga plan, denga harifoiri. Plan yaMwari haifoiri. Ini ndatanga kugadzira cabinet. There is no way we are not going to form a new cabinet. There is no way we are not going to have a celebration. There is no way we are not going to have an inauguration. Let's start preparing for our inauguration. Let's start preparing for our celebration.
I say to you again, Chamisa was lying. He knew CCC was not going to win 2023 elections. He knew Zanu PF was rigging those elections. Here is one occasion when somebody actually did take him to task on his lying. And needless to say, this was a foreign journalist. Many of our own journalists have never, ever taken him to task on his lying.
Ende patakasangana na Trump akatibvunza naye akomana mari yamuri kuda kuti nyika ifambe imari.
Serious questions were raised about your behaviour in Washington, D.C. You did see some senior people on Capitol Hill, some Congress people, but you also claimed that you'd seen Donald Trump. You claimed you had a conversation with him in which you said he asked you how much you needed to move the country forward. You told him $15 billion, and he said to you that he would provide the money if you won the election. That was not true, was it?
Sangana na Trump akatibvunza naye akomana mari yamuri kuda kuti nyika ifambe imari.
It was not true that you'd seen Donald Trump and that Donald Trump indicated to you that he would provide, if you won the election, $15 billion.
All those statements were said by other people, not what I said.
Kasangana na Trump akatibvunza naye akomana mari yamuri kuda kuti nyika ifambe imari.
Well, no, because there is a video which shows you at a rally in January back home in Zimbabwe saying that Donald Trump had pretty much promised you $15 billion. To be clear, because some people in Zimbabwe are still confused, you're now telling me you did not meet Donald Trump.
We did not.
And I think we need to start dealing with the truth. I ask you again, did Chamisa lie about plugging the vote rigging loopholes? The answer is yes. The next logical question is, why did he lie? And the answer to that is he lied to con people to participate in a flawed elections, which he knew Zanu PF was rigging, which he knew that by these people participating, they will only give Zanu PF legitimacy. Is that evidence of somebody who is fighting in the people's corner? Who gets knocked down again and again and again, gets up to fight? No, it's not. This is evidence of somebody who wants to give people the impression that he's fighting in their corner when he's not. This is evidence of the cats growling in the alley and the uninitiated think they're fighting, when in reality they are making love. And the kittens, a few months later, proves it. 25 years after the formation of MDC, they have not implemented even one token reform. They are helping Zanu PF stay in power, and they are the ones who are calling people to participate in their millions in flawed elections so that Zanu PF can have legitimacy. That is the truth we've got to deal with here. I repeat, Zanu PF and CCC are like cats, growling and fighting. And the politically naive assume that they are fighting. And Chamisa is our tough cookie, getting knocked down again and again, and then getting up and putting up a fight. The truth is, Chamisa and this MDC CCC friends are Zanu PF Team B, fighting for Team A to win and for Team A to have legitimacy. Zanu PF loves the arrangement because it suits them. The pressure for political change is not there as long as Chamisa and company can convince the people that change is coming, that the next election will deliver the change they've been waiting for. Only when they fail, he doesn't even bother to explain what happened. Chamisa will never admit that he lied in 2023 to con people, just as he never admitted that he lied in 2018 with his MDC alliance's stringent measures to stop Zanu PF rigging the elections. People believed it. They participated, gave Zanu PF legitimacy. He is gearing to do the same thing in 2028. We have to stop him. We cannot stop Zanu PF going ahead with the flawed elections. We cannot stop Chamisa and company participating. What we can do is making sure that the millions out there, the politically naive who think the cats are fighting, open their eyes for once and recognize the reality of the kittens and make them finally believe that these two cats are not fighting at all. Think about it. Thank you very much. Have a good day.